Are we ready?
We're ready.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Supercharge Your Health. This is Beth Ann Stockdale. We are broadcasting live here from the Your Total Body Wellness Center, and I am with
Suzanne Vendress, Discount Med Direct. Good morning.
Good morning. And we're going to be doing some really fun things today. But first, we're going to start off talking with Suzanne about her journey this week. For those of you that have been following us, and if you're new to Supercharge Your Health, we've been following Suzanne on her weight loss wellness journey for a few weeks now. So every week we check in to see how she's feeling and how she's doing. So take it away, Suzanne.
So I think this week was probably a little below average. We talked earlier this week. I had waffles, which I know.
And explain why you had the waffles.
I had waffles because I was not prepared, and that was all there was to eat at my house was waffles. So I ate waffles because I was starving. And even throughout the whole week, I just think I had kind of a crazy week. There was a lot of stuff going on at work, and even though I had stuff, so like lunch and breakfast at work were okay, there was just things that, were not good choices and not good situations where I ended up with some things that are not so good for me. And I noticed it. I noticed it in how I felt.
There you go.
Noticed, like this morning I got up and my stomach's kind of upset, which I didn't necessarily, yesterday wasn't necessarily a bad day, but I think it's just kind of a culmination of the things throughout the week and I don't think I got enough water yesterday. I feel a little dehydrated today too. So I'm thinking for some reason yesterday I was just not drinking my water like I was supposed to. It was right there next to me all day, but I just don't think I got quite enough water yesterday. So I'm thinking that's playing into it as well. And
we had talked before we came on the YouTube and the podcast about the waffle incident. Is it true that you were at home?
It is.
And wasn't there also that same day of the waffle incident that you didn't drink enough water?
That's true as well.
Was the water shut off at your home?
No, there was water there.
All right. So what did you learn from that whole experience and this whole week about what you need to do and focus on and concentrate on?
Well, we were a little behind we started this in the beginning of January, so we were just getting around
to talking
taking.
That
yeah, now
spring.
I'm just saying perspective-wise, we started this, so we're like in our third or fourth week, and
right.
We were a little behind in our housekeeping issues, and
right.
We were taking down our Christmas decorations. So I just was busy doing stuff, and I didn't fill up my water bottle early. Had I done that, I would have picked it up as I was going around and doing stuff, and I just didn't do that. So for me, as it's been since we started, it's a lot about preparation.
Right.
So
right.
I just did not prepare myself properly, and so that's something that I really need, I think, to focus on more. And I did better because I did, and we're going to talk about that in the next episode. I did go shopping and buy some stuff so that I'm more prepared at the office and a little bit more prepared at home. So I think going forward, I will be able to make some better choices because I am preparing better.
Right, and again, in our next episode, we're going to talk about, following you throughout your day. You're at home, you're shopping, you're at a yoga class, you're at work, you're stuck in traffic in the car, and you're hungry or you're thirsty, and how to prepare for those different instances. I think we're going to get into more detail in our next episode.
Yep.
So, and what's really good is you're feeling now, your body's getting to the point where you're feeling when you are dehydrated. You're feeling when you have eaten something that your body's like, why did you do that? Your body you'll start feeling that inflammation. It will start manifesting itself in different ways. Your body's going to respond accordingly. So it'll be like my little voice in your head saying, but the magic is to hear the voice before you eat or drink.
We have a technical advisor that is a friend of ours, and he is a bad voice in my head. So let me just put that in there. We've got to get your voice in his head. Because
okay. and you know what? That's important. And let's go ahead and touch on that. Who is your support system? Who are your trusted people that are either going to be allies or they're going to be saboteurs, not to mention any names. I guess
you know who you
not
are.
to mention any names out there. Yes, we're talking family members, we're talking friends. When you start this type of a program, I want you to have a discussion with them. A very loving discussion, just saying, look, this is what I'm going to do. You don't have to do it with me, but don't get in my way. And don't criticize me, and don't try to sabotage what I'm doing. And, you know, that's pretty important because our support system has a lot to do with our ability to make those decisions, especially in the beginning when your body is still so sugar dependent that you're having to deal with the sugar voice in your head, right?
Right.
Not to mention everybody else's. So, yes, that's important. So we'll have, you know.
He did not talk me into eating the roll at the restaurant, though.
Who did that?
No, he didn't.
Oh.
He tried.
Did you eat the roll?
No.
Yay! We'll take our victories whenever we can get them.
I did not eat the roll.
Yay! Good, 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 good.
He wanted me to, but I did not eat it.
Okay, we're gonna have to get him on the program. I have a feeling it's gonna be a whole intervention episode.
He's not working as much now. We could do that now.
We can do that, and you know who we're talking about. Okay.
They don't.
They don't. You will learn.
Does.
Stay tuned to our next episode to find out who we're talking about. All
Road
right.
trip.
Road trip. All right. Okay. So there we go.
Next.
All right. So in our next segment, this is going to be where we're talking about gadgets and gadgets. As some of you may or may not know, I am a brain health coach and consultant with the Dr. Daniel Amen Clinics. A lot which has to do with what goes on in your brain. And the way that we can tell what's going on is measuring your brain waves. And we do that through a process that's called neurofeedback. There is nothing going into your brain. Neurofeedback in different types and different forms is basically sensors that are put on your head that measure the activity in the different parts of your brain. The feedback part is, then there is a mechanism, and it's usually by sight and sound, where when your brain gets more active, the sound gets louder. So therefore, then you can start to quiet your mind for the sound to get lower. And there's actually a place in Sarasota, it's called the Brainwave Center, that they specialize in EEGs and neurofeedback, and I've been starting to work with them. But from a home use standpoint, I'm very excited to tell you about,
Let me hold them.
yes, this is called the Muse headset. You can see that it is just a headband, basically you would put on your head, nope,
Backwards.
this way across your forehead. Nope, you put this across your forehead. There you go, right there. And then these tuck behind your ears. And then inside this headband is little EEG sensors.
So it looks like a
60s
headband, but you're putting it across, instead of the top of your head, you're putting it across the front.
Right, because the sensors are right in here, across the front, and then behind your ears. And if you had this in, it would be tucked behind your ears. Then it's connected Bluetooth to your phone or your iPad where the Muse software system is. And you would listen to, have my little phone here, and you would listen to the earbuds, the music or the sounds. So what happens is you put the headband on, it takes a reading, you start calming down. It starts playing music or the sound of waves or the sound of a creek or just different type of music. And as your brain activity gets higher, the music gets louder and the tempo picks up. And then as you slow your brain waves down, then the music gets softer. Why this is important is because there's different brain waves. There's alpha, beta, theta, gamma. We spend most of our day in what we call a beta wave length state. We are more conscious about our outside world, and we're responding more to our outside world. When we get to the point where we need to calm down, we need to reduce our stress, because we're in that alert beta, high beta state too much during the day. Our cortisol levels are too high, and that's where it's starting to wreak havoc and cause too much inflammation in our bodies. And we've talked about cortisol before, but this is why this is really important, because it is within your control to teach your brain to calm down, to get your cortisol levels down. And that's what the Muse system does. It's very simple. It's hooked up to your phone. I've been doing it, say, about 15 minutes a day. And it's really helped for me because, for those of you who may or may not know, once I started doing the brain coach criteria, the curriculum, I realized I have a form of ADD. And I have never, up till now, been able to meditate. Even going to like a yoga class or anything like that, I've not been able to quiet my mind enough to be able to meditate. And I felt kind of left out. It's sort of, slowed down my, I want to have an active spiritual practice or a religious practice or whatever. And if you can't meditate, you're sort of missing out on that connection. So that's what really got me involved with the Muse, was to be able to quiet my prefrontal cortex, quiet my mind down so that I could start learning how to meditate. And it's been amazing. So what you'll be hearing about more in the future is I want to get a study together. Approximately probably 20 participants who have trouble quieting their minds. If you've always wanted to meditate and been unable to meditate, and I'll be giving you more details in the future, but I want to go ahead and put a study together and use these Muse headsets, the headbands, and then we're going to go through the protocols of the Amen clinics with nutrition, supplementing with neurotransmitter substances, exercise, different mind exercises to actually get you to be able to balance your brain out. And so we'll be using the Muse headbands to do that.
I think our technical advisor would be a good candidate for that study.
Testing. Yes. And it's, there's millions of people out there with some form of ADD. There are probably 6 or 7 different forms of ADD, and everybody always thinks of the hyperactive kid. Most women are they don't have that hyperactive component to their inability to focus. And that's why we don't draw a lot of attention to ourselves like in school as kids, because we weren't the ones that were running around and weren't able to focus. And so as an adult, when I started looking, I was like, oh yeah, I get it now. I was always the super achiever. In my kindergarten report card, the teacher hand wrote that I get upset when I don't succeed.
I can remember, I think it was 2nd grade for me, that my teacher told my mom that I do really well as long as I'm busy, but as soon as I'm done, then I start interrupting the kids around me.
Perfect.
So my mom's answer was, give her more work. So they gave me more work so that I was then, when I finished my other work, I had another workbook that I was supposed to then get out and work in, because just to keep me from interrupting the other kids who needed more time.
Right. See, there you go. That's a hallmark. That's one of the hallmarks of ADD is we do really well when we're doing something that we really enjoy or that's super stimulating and it is interesting. Once you lose us, like you said, we're the kids that are like messing around. I can remember in kindergarten during nap time that I would be sitting on my carpet going, okay, what are we doing now? I'd go
nap? I don't want to nap.
I know, really. And it's like the time where the teacher could get a break. No, I was awake. I wanted to know what she was doing. I wanted to help her.
Yeah.
What is this nap time thing, right?
Nap since you were 3 months old, right?
Right, exactly. Naps, one of those. I'm missing something, right? So that's one of the hallmarks of ADD, is that you're really focused on something that interests you, but if it's something that's mundane, it doesn't get done.
Well, that's what I find as an adult, and I've known this about myself for a long time, and so the ADD piece that you said, and as we said in one of the other episodes, I don't have full force of it, but I do have some of those tendencies. Mm-hmm. And for me, I do better when I have a whole list of things to do. If I only have one thing to do, forget about it.
It's not even going to get done.
Yeah, it's just going to stay on the list until there's like 5 more things. But then once I have a whole list of things, I'll whip through them like that. But just one thing, I'll procrastinate for hours. Just try, but make me a whole list of 20 things.
Because then there's a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Because then that raises the stimuli, because then your brain gets more active. That one thing doesn't raise your activity enough to make it worthwhile doing. So your brain's like, give me more. Okay, now I'll get it done.
And I know in high school, I always did better in school when I had a job. When I didn't have a job, I didn't do as well.
We're having a little technical difficulty here on the podcast part. There we go. We're still going. What was that?
So when I was in high school, I always did better in school, like doing my schoolwork, when I had an after school job.
Oh.
Because I knew I had to get all that school stuff done during school hours or in a short period of time after that.
Okay.
When I didn't have a job, I was like, oh, I could just do that later. And again, kind of back to the same thing as second grade. I didn't have to do the work, so I could fuss around with my friends. Mm-hmm. And then I would just take the work home and then not do it at home either. So I would get worse grades. But then when I had a job, I knew I had to go to work after school, so I had to get it done.
Right.
So
right.
Same kind of thing. Same, stimulation and getting it done in that time.
Right. My mom always used to say that I was my happiest when I was learning something new. She knew. But, up until now, as far as a community or a society awareness, that this actually can get corrected pretty easily, so that we can get other things done, and we can get those things done that aren't quite as exciting, that just need to get done. Emails answered, bills paid, taxes paid.
All that grown-up stuff.
All that grown-up stuff, that business stuff, right. So that's what we're going to be doing with the Muse headbands and the neurofeedback. You'll be hearing more about that. I will post more on the Supercharge Your Health Facebook page on how to get involved in that study once I get some more of the details lined up, but I'm pretty excited about it. All right, so moving on to our next segment. I'll let Suzanne preface this one.
So we had one of our viewers ask us if there was, or tell us that there was a machine or a box at his gym that had some red lights in it, and he didn't know what it was, he didn't know if he should use it, so we investigated that.
Yes.
Or Beth investigated that.
Yes. So I put my little investigator hat on. So we're sitting here, and for those of you who missed the segment on the Juve red light, near infrared light system, this is what I have here at the Your Total Body Wellness Center, these panels. Every third light or so is a red light, and then the ones in between are clear, and those are the near infrared. What the red light does is stimulates collagen and elastin. It's all very skin related, reducing wrinkles, improving sun damaged spots or age spots and things like that. So I tootled into the fitness center, which has this piece of equipment. It looks like a tanning booth. Okay, so it looks like one of those stand up tanning booth that you would walk into. So I went in and I asked the front desk person about this red light system that he had, and the gentleman was very nice. He took me back and he showed me the unit. It's called Total Body Enhancement. Now let me preface this with that the what you stand on is a vibrating plate. So it does have the benefits of the whole body vibration like we have here. But I was really interested in the red light because you walk in it and you're surrounded by these red lights. So I asked him, I said, so what are the frequency of the red lights? Because what we learned in our last segment is that there is a spectrum of frequency of nanometers that are effective in the red light spectrum. So I asked him, I said, so what are the wavelengths of your red lights? And he looked at me like, duh. Very nice gentleman, but he didn't know. He said, I was told by a technician that they were near infrared lights. Okay, but the lights in the unit are red. So I knew that there's going to be an issue right there. And what he recommended was, now he was very nice. He told me that the red light increases collagen and reduces wrinkles. So he was very knowledgeable about what it did, but he couldn't tell me what it was. So what he recommended was that I Google the manufacturer to see if I can find the specifications. I said, that's a great idea. So that's what I did. So the unit is called, let me see if I can find it. It's, yeah, there we go, thank you. It's a Beauty Angel RVT30 is the name, and the manufacturer is called Ergoline, which is a German company. Now, I went on the website, and they call them beauty lights. And there is no mention on the website whatsoever what the frequency of the lights are.
Interesting.
Right, so, and and there was even a posting from someone who wanted to do a review of them that had contacted the company to ask what are the frequency, the nanometers of the red lights, and have not heard back from the company. So I can neither confirm nor deny that the red lights in the Total Body Enhancement System are effective. I can't tell you that they're safe. I can't tell you that they're dangerous because I don't know what they are. They could just be red light bulbs. Like you would put on
painted red light bulbs, like you
no,
put
it would be like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, like this,
right. They could be like
it's
Christmas
painted
tree
red
lights.
on the outside.
I don't know because the manufacturer does not have. I mean, they have a bunch of specifications on their website. However, they just do not indicate what the nanometers or the spectrum is of the red lights. And what we know is that we want them around 660, 680, 700 to be effective, and that's what the tube lights are. So that is my report back on the red light system. At the fitness center.
You would say to avoid that then?
I would say that I can't even comment on that. They may be perfectly safe. I don't know because since we can't tell what kind of light system it is, I can't even comment on it.
Is it worth it for the total body vibration part of it?
Yes.
So
right, and you know, I can even go back and just do a whole segment on that. But the whole body vibration improves your circulation. Activates your lymphatic system. So whatever benefits the folks are feeling from that, absolutely. And I think I don't even know what the additional charge is a month to use this system, but I would say proceed at your own risk because I don't know.
Okay.
There you go. That's it.
Is that it for today?
That's it for today.
All right.
Stay tuned to our next
info.
Info.
Gotta give some info.
We always forget to say who we are.
We just like to give people information for.
Right. Okay.
Check back next week.
Yeah, right. To find out who we are next week. I am Beth Ann Stockton. I'm the owner of your Total Body Wellness Center, certified brain health coach and consultant. You can find the Wellness Center at 800 East Venice Avenue, Suite C, in Venice 34285, and you can contact me by calling, texting 941-468-7091.
You can also contact us through our website at healthsupercharge.com, our Facebook page at Supercharge Your Health, our email at info@healthsupercharge.com.
Where do they find you?
They can find me at Discount My Direct, 2414 Tamiami Trail, Unit 1, Port Charlotte, Florida, 941-421-7155, or the Cape Coral location, 229 Del Prado Boulevard North in Cape Coral, Florida, 239-677-3559.
That's all right.
Or tag us in one of the videos or the podcast, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. We're still looking for more ideas for Tell Us More.
Yep.
And we look forward to next episode.
Until we see you and hear from you again, Supercharge Your Health.